We are brought to you by TABtouch. Got the touch? Download the TABtouch app today. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rinn, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. How are we?
Oh, we're very good. We waited for you for an extra 10 minutes after you already pushed the pod back 15 minutes. So we're now 26 minutes into waiting for Nick Rinn. But yesterday I was at...
And it's like he looks at us as though his Monday is busier than our Monday.
Oh, he comes in all flustered.
What, did you have renovations or something you needed to sort out?
No. Just meeting with some we're potentially going to do some work with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially won't either, and we're 26 minutes late.
Delicate dance.
So I was at Optus Stadium last night.
So who?
No, I said it's a delicate dance.
I thought you said the Stella Cadets. I was like, mate, if I'm 26 minutes late because you're doing cadets gear.
Stella Cadets.
We're going to line up, do a march.
Well, if you're going to do any cadets, do the Stella ones.
They're the best cadets.
Null's down there hosting.
We found out Null's true identity last night.
So there's a group chat in our, because we do the 7 broadcasts of local footy, and there's an email chain that goes around, and I'd never noticed it before. But on the emails, it's got everybody's emails there. So Ben Cousins is there, Martin LaCras there, Danny Shuey, Anna Hay. And then Sean McManus's email, his name is Null.
Yes.
Yeah.
On his email.
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
So if you got an email from someone from over east you never heard of, someone working sales, hey Ryan, null at 7 West Media and Melbourne.
Yeah.
Would you look at it and think null could possibly have been the name?
Yeah.
It's not going to, we're never going to go with it. All right. It's you. This is a you thing where you just assumed.
I was not going to get cancelled on a lad who escaped the war-torn part of Africa.
Yeah.
His name was Null, and I was not going to overlook his journey into the AFL.
It was at a Triple M function last week. Billy Brownless was there, and Dave was doing the heavy lifting, trying not to get Billy cancelled over demographics.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Let's move on. Let's see where we go.
You noticed that,
I
didn't
did notice
that.
Yes. He was trying to Billy was swimming in the deep end, and Dave was there trying to drag him out to the shallows.
Wasn't even putting floaties on. He was like, I don't think he realised the end he was in.
Billy loves it.
They're funny, aren't they, those boys?
Oh, very good. They are absolutely at the top of their craft. Yesterday at Optus Stadium, shout out to, I'm guessing, a listener who, as I was walking around the race, shouted out, big canvas at me. So, as you know, tent.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
So I was at Optus. Were you at Optus Stadium yesterday?
No, not yesterday.
I was there, and I was in one of the booths, the TV booths, and Dave, of course, was in the radio booth, which is about 7 or 8 booths between us. So quite a bit of distance. But even from there, I could hear the puckering of his little bumhole.
Oh, yeah.
The nerves that were coming through him at about 5 minutes into the last quarter when Jack Higgins put the Saints up by 14, and he's doing the math and going, hold on,
5 times.
I owe 15 cartons to these 3 blokes. That's $900. And I did this to try to win 3 cartons, which is only $180. You were nervous.
No, not at all. And I just want to say quickly, I've now won a shitload of beer.
You actually really
too much. Like I've still got vouchers coming out my ass. But I need to say, Kevin O'Malley gets involved in every single. He's just a social. Is
this Kev's Kickers?
Yes. So he gets involved in every single bet.
Yeah, loses every time.
Lost every one of them.
Oh, come on.
No, but he is. Credit to him.
Pace.
As the siren goes,
It's
bang,
there.
in goes the voucher.
Really?
Wow.
Well, I would say 80% have paid, and they've always been really good. There's a couple.
You want to name names that haven't paid, or
No, I don't want to, because I think sometimes people should make bets if they can't afford it, and I reckon some may have made a bet thinking this will win, and they
don't write checks that you can't cash.
But unfortunately, people sometimes do because they
Well,
are down on their luck.
might win 5 cartons.
and try and win something.
Well, Kev, I feel sorry for Kev. Can you let Kev win one?
No,
'Cause he's
no,
an
no,
Essendon
no, no.
supporter.
He's
He
got a lot
doesn't have
going on.
any joy.
No, but I keep letting him join in. Like,
Yeah.
I'll keep so like if he had won yesterday.
This is like This is like a
like the
crack
pokies,
dealer going.
yeah.
I keep letting him have a bit of crack.
He needs something.
He needs a little bit of something. Then you just take his beer.
So, but yesterday, if they'd have won, then I would have been like,
he would have been stuffed.
He would have been in front on the beers.
Well in front.
Anyway, they're not.
All right, let's get into it.
Now, before we get into it, we do need, of course, we do a same game multi with TABtouch every week to the trending markets. Now, I'm just going to skip through mine early. I got the Thursday night bug and dived into Port Adelaide area, so I was out. Really, I don't even need to
I was
check
going.
yours.
I was going goal scorers, and it didn't. The first one I'd put in my bet, the first leg was Bobby Hill to score a goal, so it was void.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was void
It
right
would
from
have.
the
No,
start.
it would have been fine.
It was never
now-
going to be good.
It would have been good.
Some of us
Let's go.
are trying hard to do things for the people.
Community.
Oh,
for the
yeah, yeah.
community, for the listeners. We are trying to carry our part of the bargain. And here it is. The second time of the year I have come through with the goods. A successful multi paying $4.40.
$4, so just straight up and down.
Did Gold Coast win?
Yes.
Yes, they did. Did Bailey Humphrey kick a goal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kicked 2, actually. Did Matty Rao get 20 touches?
Of course,
Almost
yes.
had it at half time. Sam Flanders, the role
you were
change.
lucky,
I
yeah.
called that.
Oh, okay.
That
We
was,
were on it too. He had 21 touches early in that game.
he was very on. And then Clary, what I say?
Clayton was held together with gaffer tape by the end of it.
Well,
but he
it
still made
doesn't
it.
matter. It's I said he's
I'll
not
tell
in
you what's
great
held
form, but
together
he's
by-
going to get 20.
Tell you what's held together by gaffer tape is your pockets.
What?
Full.
Oh, yeah.
Full of cash.
Because I was with conviction.
You showed conviction.
I showed conviction.
So well done to you.
Thank you very much. So, do we have a
so-
running tally on?
No, we don't.
Remember, we
do
were going to do the $10.
So $4.60. You're still
$4.40.
That was round 16. So
Yeah.
you're still
I'll
12,
be
12,
well
round,
under.
12 rounds behind.
Yeah, but I had
essentially.
one win too. I had another win.
Oh, you've had two.
So I've
now,
had 2 wins.
Oh, awesome. You're in
Yeah.
front.
So I reckon I'm just in front.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yes. I'm on fire. So follow me next week because I feel I'm
Oh,
feeling
please
like
don't
got
say-
the hot hand. All right, I'm going to go first. I'm going to do Brisbane. So they didn't play. So thank you.
I was
for
going to
giving
say
me
Brisbane off
advice.
a bye. It's a
Yeah,
good-
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
not
good
going to
start.
bullet them.
That's a
folks.
strong start to a podcast. Let's tune in
I'm
for
not-
Brisbane
no,
off a bye.
Well, I'm not going to bullet them though, because this is an interesting talking point.
It's a look forward.
We love Oscar McInerney, right? Tough,
Yeah.
Brazilian, misses a premiership. Everybody loves Oscar McInerney.
But then Fagan gives him his medal.
Yes, all
That
that.
would fast becoming his worst day of his life.
Or-
I don't
awful.
know his life, but worst day of his sporting
Just-
life.
He was up and about. He was happy.
yeah,
No,
but
not deep down.
No,
not
not
now.
deep
When the
down.
dust
No,
settles,
True,
please.
true.
flat.
What Alex Pearce said, and he got criticism for about watching the team and missing out. You know, he said some days you hope they'll
Yeah,
lose because
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that is the feeling every single injured player has. So
Yes.
like Alex
Yeah.
Pearce copped a lot of grief for that.
Yep.
That's a very familiar feeling.
Of
Sorry,
course,
keep going.
particularly when it's a grand final and
Correct.
you're like, this could have been the best day of my sporting life. Now it's the worst.
Yeah, and in 10 years' time, he's going to reunion, and the photo's not going to. You're not
He's
in the
not
photo.
there.
Well, that's the other thing I noticed with the reunions. Like, it's always premiership reunions. It's never
Correct.
whole
List.
list reunions.
No.
You know, like, and that can mean player who didn't play a game and player who played 200 games but didn't play in the flag.
Well,
Yeah.
They just get left out.
I
of
heard
these
one
things.
this morning. Who was that? Who was your ruck in 2008 who had a rest in the last round and then didn't come back?
Oh, Simon Taylor.
Yeah, played the whole.
You heard that this morning.
I think David King mentioned on Fireball talking
Yeah.
about having a rest at the wrong time.
Yeah, Simon Taylor had a rest, and Brent Renouf came in.
Yeah.
And Brent Renouf played maybe 7 or 8 games, and he, at quarter time, I remember the message coming to Jordan Lewis and myself, jump at every stoppage. That's how well we're going in the ruck. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, no,
that
and
right?
Simon Taylor missed out, and he sat there, and Squizzy's a smart man, like a ripping guy.
Yeah.
You could just see his heart was broken.
Yeah.
That is tough. Well, what I was going to talk about is the
Sorry.
fact that they're now looking for a replacement because his back and his groin are stuffed. Now, he might not be done, but his body is not going to hold up for 5 years. So
Oscar Allen's the answer. In he
well,
In the
goes.
ruck.
no, Sam Draper is the answer, they think. So they're really keen on Sam Draper. They're going hard for him.
Is
How
he
much
the
cash
answer
do
to
they
anyone,
have?
though?
They have all this
Mate,
cash.
no, I'm changing my theory on this. Clubs now have more cash than you think because of the salary cap changing and the floor rise, all that sort of stuff. It's different to what you think it is. So everyone's going, how does everyone have this money? It's because there's more money.
There's
Yeah.
just more money.
So
Well, yeah,
this
it
is-
jumps every year now.
It's a good time to be a free agent. Put it that way. Yep.
Sam Draper.
Wanna go?
All right, let's go with Adelaide. So this was a game, which wasn't much of a game, really, let's be honest. It wasn't too many good ones over the weekend.
Ooh.
But this was a game about 2 players. First one.
Hold on. Isaac Rankin.
Oh, yeah.
Isaac Rankin.
Is he one of them?
okay.
Is he one of them?
And Riley Thilthorpe. No. So this is a fella who we love his work down back. Unassuming, gets the job done. He went to the middle last year, liked it,
Yeah.
did enough. Went forward, kicked 3 goals. Max Michael-Lenny.
Oh, our man.
Oh,
Can
yes.
this man do anything
man.
wrong?
No.
Kick the first goal. He looks like someone you'd want to marry your daughter to. Like he's got that beautiful
yeah.
schoolboy
Yeah.
look.
Yep.
Kicked the first goal of the game, then started popping them through from other set
How
shots.
is it? Yeah, it was his dour backman, and we like him, but it's just put him anywhere. and
You
he'll
know why I
deliver.
didn't want to go down there? because he wanted to keep his head on his shoulders.
Oh, yeah, so
With
I
old
was going
Tom
to die.
Lynch throwing a couple of helicopters.
We'll talk about Lynch. We'll talk about don't
Wow,
take my only Richmond point.
Okay, sorry. They finally provided something.
So Max Michael, and he's just further in love with him now because he can do anything.
I
Throw
think
anything at him. He can ruck. He can go to Brisbane as a ruckman.
I think he's our guy.
He's our guy there.
We were really early on Michael.
I feel like we were.
Like it was us and then some Crows people on Big Footy.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went on Big Footy?
I've never been on Big Footy.
Oh, right.
I just know what it is.
Exists, yeah.
Oh, please. He's probably,
No,
For Freo nothing in
literally.
69.
Literally never been on Big Footy.
He would have been writing stuff back in the day when he was at school, like, oh, I hear that. What suburb are you from?
Thornley.
Oh, I hear there's a kid in Thornley. Daniel's playing. Doesn't get much of an opportunity, but I feel like the coaches might be hiding him for future draft. That's you would have been writing shit like that.
Sounds like something you
draft
did.
board.
No.
That sounds like
Melbourne
something
grammar.
you did.
Keeping all eyes on Melbourne grammar. And the other one was Dan Curtin, a 197 centimetre wingman who's just had 26, 2 goals, 8 intercepts one way,
hold on.
11 score involvements the other way.
Say it.
I was wrong about Daniel Curtin, but I'm certainly right that he's not a centre half back.
Wait, no, you just say you were wrong.
No. But the argument was he's not a centre half back.
Yeah.
Was the argument, and he's not an inside midfielder.
Okay.
He's playing beautiful
He's a
football
wing.
on that wing.
Leave him
You
on
were
that
wrong
wing.
about Daniel Curtin. He is going to be a star.
I never said he wasn't going to be a star.
Well,
Oh,
I reckon
I'm
he
in on his brother.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to Sydney. Let's start with the Swannies.
Okay.
Goulden
Oh, fuck.
back. So there's one positive.
Beautiful.
And tell you what, he's pretty
What about
lucky
his second half? He just was everywhere.
everywhere. They're like, but a lot of little lateral marks and stuff as well.
Yeah,
where
but
the
that's
points
the
will
work
add
he
up.
does.
That's him.
That's the
Yeah, I
work he
get
does.
that. But I need to talk about the situation, the shit show that's happening over in Sydney. Hit it.
Turf. Oh, Bocelli.
This man played a concert April 3rd. There's a conspiracy about this too coming up later.
Oh, wow.
April 3rd. And somehow the ground's getting shitter.
It's 2 months ago.
88 days ago.
When I looked it up
88 days ago.
about this Bocelli concert, I was like, was it last week? And it says, no, I had to check that it was April 3rd three times.
88 days ago. It is getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
It is unsafe for football.
But also, what's happening at a Bocelli concert? Is there like a
There's
mosh
a mosh
pit?
pit. There's one of those. There's a bit of circle work
there
where they
people-
just run around in circles.
Are they
thrashing
tearing it
out.
up? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening?
But also, it'd be like, seriously.
Punching
So
on.
we've got Bocelli at the SCG.
Yeah.
Imagine if Sydney had an opera house or something. Imagine if they could just
Play.
sing at an opera house.
What are they doing at the Opera House?
It's there for Instagram photos. I swear. That game is a disgrace. And if that's not fixed, they needed to rain this week to turn both
They
ends into
didn't,
a shit.
even, they didn't even bother with the green sand. It was just the normal sand.
It was, but it has been ordinary. We've mentioned it on this podcast, how ordinary it's been.
Yeah.
That was disgraceful.
You don't like the SCG in general.
No, it's a shit rig. It's shit to watch footy at.
So-
It's such a poxy ground.
Yeah.
Great
No,
for
but they got a
cricket.
bloody singles night. coming
Great
up.
for cricket. Horrible for footy. No, I don't know anyone who turns on the TV. SCG's in the same category as Mars in Ballarat.
Really?
Yeah, just pox.
Should the
They couldn't even get Buddy's 1,000 goal right.
Should they build a proper Aussie rules stadium?
Oh, where now? They tried, didn't they? The Olympic Park. They used to play out there a little bit.
Just
Oh,
build
that
a
wasn't
proper one.
Fit to purpose one, was it?
Build a proper one.
Well, NG
'Cause the
is
SCG
one. No one goes there, though.
Such a
no, but
weird
then they
shape.
kick you off.
Just quickly before we move on, should that game be moved if it is in the same condition?
Yes. They couldn't.
Yes.
Their planted feet weren't planted.
Yes.
Maybe.
Has to be.
Yeah, maybe. Well, the
Imagine
AFL
if-
will have to tick off on it this week.
What needs to
It's
happen?
their call.
Gordon needs to snap that ankle again.
Well,
Sam
that's-
Dacey needs to do his
yeah.
knee. Those players were slipping and sliding.
How's that Williams one? where
The
he just
Williams
like-
one, he could have easily done his knee.
Yeah.
Like,
And then was it the lizard late where just like his leg just slid out front of him and
and-
dribbled across
and
goal?
that kick that the Lizard did was almost the closest to hitting a target in the last quarter. He slaughtered the ball. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
You
God.
know my thoughts about the Lizard.
He's not having a good year, is he?
I think the hype is bigger than the product.
So
I think he's
just
having a bad
extend really quickly. Sorry, I didn't get to
Jeez. Okay.
extend.
More Bocelli? Have you got another tune? Is that
Nah,
Yeah,
I really
we
do
got
want to
to,
talk
yeah.
about one person at Sydney who's having a year that we aren't really discussing. Brody Grundy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Brody
Yes.
Grundy is having an exceptional he had a couple of quiet patches.
What were the odds of him extending for Brody Grundy?
No,
Yeah,
I had
from
to.
Bocelli to Grundy.
No, because I wanted to quickly go through some of his last champion data points.
Which you love?
Well,
it's
they
just-
love the rucks.
it's
Oh,
just- Love the rucks. But 179, 159, 155, 161, 109, 135, 121. They're his last games and rated on data. So you're going Ruckman v. Ruckman. You know they're all full of shit, the Ruckman stuff. But that is exceptionally high.
He's like the top of that next rung, right? Or would you have him in the elite?
Who's in that rung?
Well, that's true.
When was the last? He's in that
Australian.
rung. He's in that rung.
This year it's been Gawn, Sherry, Cameron.
But Gawn's yo-yoing.
Gawn.
We're not just assuming that Gawn's doing what he's doing. He's not. He's yo-yoing.
He had a good 4 weeks at the right time.
Yeah, I reckon he's yo-yoing.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Mate, there's no standout ruck. There's no standout ruck this year.
I reckon it's 3, but
They're not standouts. They might be the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, Ryan, I was about to say Sean Darcy, Luke Jackson, and
Reedy.
Liam Reedy.
it's been good in the Peel. Is this me? Who's this? Oh,
Yeah, you.
You just went for so long, I forgot. Hawthorn. So did what they had to do.
No, they did more than they had to do.
How'd you go with Never Again North? You took the line on that one. The line was gone by half time.
Yeah.
So
I think I might have even backed North at like 20-1 at one stage.
running around for Hawthorn for Box Hill in the VFL, the forward line on the weekend had Mitch Lewis, who kicked a couple in limited minutes, Cal Shadir, who kicked a couple and took 10 marks, and Luke Bruce.
Yeah.
Pretty handy VFL forward line. Now, those 3 guys, I think, in their peak form are in the Hawthorn's best team.
I think so.
Throw in James Sicily, throw in Will Day, and throw in James Warple. They are 6 players who are not playing for Hawthorn right now.
No.
This is why, I know you're at the 30-odd% mark for Hawthorn. I'm way higher.
Mate, you haven't asked me today what I am.
What is it?
You got to ask me after a 90-point win.
What is it?
43.
See, I'm way higher on that.
Max Ramsden's been a good find too at 203 centimetres.
Yeah. I just think with those guys that they've got out, they haven't had an easy year. Things have not gone their way this year. They've had a really tough draw compared to last year. They've had a lot of injuries to key players. I think Hawthorn is just this sleeping premiership giant waiting. I would actually think if they can catch fire, not even now, just keep doing the basic stuff. They're still in the top
finals
4.
Then they catch fire.
They're still in the top 4.
True.
Yeah, no. I think honestly they're in it. There's no standout team. There's no standout team.
If they can get Lewis right, get Deer into some form, Sicily, hopefully his body's good now.
They're 5th.
I was talking to...
Day is uncertain, but if he comes back...
Yeah, they'll be back. I was talking to a coach the other day who said they'd much rather play Brisbane and Collingwood than Hawthorn and Doggies.
Because you just know they're just going to get their backs up, just go. I don't know. I wonder what there are in the premiership market.
No, there'll be about 10s or something, I'd imagine, in there.
Well, I think both Brisbane and Collingwood, you can feel most of it that you can always keep touch.
Yeah.
But Hawthorn or Dogs, if they fire, you can't. It's just scraping it air.
Yeah.
The premiership market has Collingwood at $4 as the favourite on TABtouch. Hawthorn's $10. You're right. Yeah, you said that, but they're 6th in line. Yeah. They're equal with Adelaide.
That'd be all jammed in there pretty
Collingwood,
tight.
Brisbane. Brisbane's at 6. Yeah. Geelong's at 6. Doggies at 8. Crows at 10, Hawthorn at 10, Giants at 15, Freo at 21, and then Gold Coast at 26. Then 251 for the Swannies. Yeah. Get on the Bing Tangs.
Oh, they're on the Tangs.
Yeah, on the Tangs.
The Tangers were cracked on Friday night when they lost.
Well, let's just pump them up the order this week because we've had a lot of. They're normally the last of the second last team we ever read, but I think it's time just West Coast. This is almost the best sort of 3 weeks they've had in 3 years, and I don't think they've been won. But at least they're looking good, and their kids are looking
better.
Good. Looking better.
They're no longer the team you can turn up and go.
Well, it does. Okay, yes.
It does
feel a little bit patronising there.
I do assume 10 goals still.
But it doesn't happen.
But you
assume that it's in the gun somewhere.
Yeah.
They lost by 10 goals to Carlton 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen occasionally.
That's what I mean. So they've still got that in them.
But yeah, so there's 3 more who, well, one's a big tick, which is Tom McCarthy. That's 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 30 every week and just looking like $1 million.
Yep.
Job Shanahan looks like a player.
Yeah.
And Clay Hall as well did enough. He's not going to be your superstar midfielder, but you need people to get touches.
The one thing they did, I saw in Rhino today, they won the disposal count for the first time this year.
Yeah,
Round 16, they finally had more footy than the opposition.
Well, I'm just getting a sense that maybe there's enough kids coming through now doing something that maybe this rebuild's going to happen slightly faster than I think.
No.
I don't think
they've won one game, mate.
No, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, but it's going to be one of those ones.
Please don't get employed at West Coast. They thought it was happening quicker 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, no, this is okay. Yeah, we should have been here 3 years ago.
Yes.
But
get out of the tent.
I think it's
get out of the tent, Brady.
But the one I love, and he's in the same mould as
Hold on, is
Michael
this meeting that you had earlier today, was it with the West Coast?
It wasn't with West Coast, no. Yeah, I was like, they're bloody great team.
Doing some work with the West Coast.
He signed them up to the cadets program.
He's the same mould as Michael, and he's like, Brady Hoff. I love
Oh,
that kid.
yeah. No.
Again, just put him wherever and he'll get a job done for you.
It was his. I mean, he's had some good games, but that was his best one.
Yeah.
He has been a surprise packet from day one.
Who was that, sorry?
Brady
Hoff.
Hoff.
Oh, yeah.
He's been so good.
He was just like this reliable defender, and then Minnie's going, well, let's see if he can be a mid. It's like, well, yes, he can.
Do you know what he
He'll
had?
be a very
Like,
good
he
one.
Well,
surprised
he started his career on the wing.
Yeah, I was.
And every quarter he kicked his first kick went out in the full. Every game. And then because he was always hemmed in and under pressure. And then he worked into it.
Once he
Throw
got
it
that
on
one
the
out of the
boot.
way,
Yeah.
he was okay.
Yeah, you got to get one.
Let's go to what does SSP mean when you get added to a list?
Yeah,
Supplemental selection period.
Yes.
Yep.
good
So
one.
as off the back of being a delisted player, you can join a club.
Yeah. Or undrafted. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, but
Yep.
I want to talk about a delisted player. Someone who's been delisted and now plays at the Bulldogs.
Oh.
He's played 24 games after his first year of being delisted. He's played 14 this year already.
Oh. I think I know who it is.
Lockie Bramble.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Lockie Bramble had 15 disposals and a goal in that third quarter.
Yeah.
That was as good as you'll get.
Ex-Hawthorn?
Ex-Hawthorn. Hawthorn delisted him. I don't want to pump him up like he's the best thing we've ever seen.
No.
But if you can find a piece that's been delisted and then played already, I think he played 30 games at Hawthorn. He's played 38 already at
He
the
helped
Doggies.
lift the floor.
The floor lifts.
Yeah.
Ceiling, no. The Doggies, they need Bont playing his best footing for
Yeah,
the
of course.
ceiling
Sam
to be
Darcy
lifted.
to clunk
Ed
him.
Richards, the ceiling goes up.
Fraser.
Bramble,
Fraser.
Fraser. Floor goes up with Bramble, and we don't talk about him much, but that is a good find.
Yeah.
That's a needle in a haystack getting a
Do you
delisted
know what?
player to get him to 38 games.
And he
like
kind
that.
of looks like the kind of bloke who you wouldn't be surprised if when he's done, he moves to a cabin and chops wood and stuff and just lives on his own.
Yeah, I was going to go down more of the sell
Sipping a
cocaine
coffee.
path, but no, he.
Also
No, I
a
just
cabin.
think that's the speed. There's a little bit of headless about it.
I love him.
He gets around 20 disposals
He's a
this year. He's
decent kick.
averaging.
He's a decent
Takes
kick.
distance, takes some grounds.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about Fraser, who was unbelievable, and Sam Darcy's first quarter.
Yeah.
And again, he kicked that goal at his clacker, his third goal. But I just thought, I don't know, looking at that, when they needed someone to stand up in that third quarter, you had Fraser kicking 3, Heaney kicked 4 at the other end, and then this Bramble, who was a delisted free agent essentially from Hawthorn, was the best player almost amongst all of it.
I love when a player can build a career
Yeah.
from mixed parts. You know, it's like when you have Lego, right? I've been doing a lot of Lego with my son lately.
What are you building?
Well, we built this Kawasaki, the Ninja, the motorbike the other day, which was
Oh,
really
wow,
fun.
eh?
And that one, we come out of the box and you're reading the instructions
Pretty
and everything
easy to
goes to
follow,
plan.
yeah.
But then you've also got this old box of mine from 40 years ago, this mismatch
Right,
box of
yeah.
Lego, where you take that and you just build something out of it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
sometimes
okay.
more fun
That's-
than
you
following
build-
the instructions.
Wield a Lockie Bramble.
Lockie Bramble's in that mismatch box of Lego, but he's building something.
We have a Lego
That was pretty
table.
good.
Yeah.
That's a good
That's
analogy.
I
That
should
was
save
good.
that for something
We
else.
have a we have a Lego.
Josh, can you edit that out? Ron, I need to use it somewhere.
edit it out.
I'm going to use it in a column this week.
We have a Lego table at home. Maybe 60% of this table, like purposely
I've
built
been
for
meaning
Lego.
to get a
Oh, yeah.
table. Yeah.
Purposely built like the tops Lego, so
Yes.
you build on top of it
Love
and whatnot. Em doesn't know this, but she's going to Broome on Saturday. I've got a skip bin coming on Saturday. It's time that a lot of this shit goes. Like we have
I haven't touched
3,000 pieces of Lego.
Have you ever used
Thousand.
the Lego table?
No.
I don't use it.
Not really.
Yeah,
No,
because I was
it
thinking
just
about
takes-
getting one, so you don't reckon. I don't want yours, by the way.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, but he's just going to... Look, he's
Yeah.
trying to flog it.
Did your
That's
missus
like-
do this?
Yeah,
Is
get
this
it.
Ours is a good one.
Was this a
now
buy
you-
nothing?
Yeah, now you want me to pay for it.
Was this a buy nothing? Your missus do that buy
No,
nothing?
we don't know. This was buy expensively on
Oh,
our credit
right.
card.
You know, there's like this community buy nothing, and there's people who throw up shit. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
Em
it
got
was nothing.
pissed
Buy
off at me.
expensively.
That's why I had the chainsaw the other day because I had to
The
cut
table.
I had to cut the couch up to put it in the skip bin, and Em was like, "Put it on buy nothing." I was like, "Em, I shit myself on this couch. I do not want it. Like, no, I'm not giving it to anyone."
All right, let me go to the Gold Coast Suns. That was a professional performance against a team that we'll talk about later that is not going very well. I just want to give a shout out to, I don't think we've talked about him much all year, but John Noble. What a good pickup
Good,
he's
yeah.
been. So I think we identified that one
Early
of the
we
areas...
did. Early in the year we did because he was
Yeah,
getting a lot
maybe
of footy
early,
when
yeah.
Rioli wasn't.
So him and Rioli were the two big recruits, and they both essentially have a similar role off that halfback. And it has changed the Suns. It's given them bounce off halfback. They toyed for years with trying to find that guy.
Like, was
know,
Fiorini, Lemons,
Flanders did it a bit.
Flanders,
Will
everyone-
Powell,
Yeah.
Sexton went back there last year. That didn't work.
Oh, mate, good-looking rooster used to be at Freo. Went for
Weller.
big two.
Weller, he's had a lot of injuries. He hasn't
Yeah.
really had a chance. Still very good looking, though. But just a shout out to John Noble, another sort of Lockie Bramble type.
Yeah,
Where you're
but
making,
you can tell why Collingwood left him out.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
One
not-
man's trash, another man's treasure. Sort of
He's just
vibe.
not quite the cream.
No.
They,
Yeah.
they didn't want him fighting the footy 25 times.
No, correct. Noah Anderson tagged for the majority of the game by Ed Langdon, who did a pretty good job on him.
Well, he had a lot of space.
Well-
no Anderson, because I was watching it extremely closely.
Well, we talked about that, and can you tag a guy like Noah? We talked about that on Friday. You weren't
That
here,
wasn't shoulder to
Thursday.
shoulder though. He was a lot alone. Noah Anderson was having a shit day.
Too much space.
Yeah.
And his final turn was massive.
Massive.
When Melbourne were pushing.
Needed 90 fantasy points, and you won't believe it. He went behind the ball for the last centre bounce. They kicked a point. He got a lateral kick in.
Oh, little +6.
May have been the last league of a multi. And I was at the Scarborough Sporty, and for about an hour, I was getting a bit of how Noah Anderson was going.
Yeah. And he just
Thank
snuck
you,
in.
Noah
What did he
Anderson.
score, like 50 in the last quarter or something?
It might have been 44 or
He's
something.
big.
Yeah.
I know, because I have him in my
Yeah.
keeper. Brownlow, let's just take a quick look at the Brownlow betting, because Noah Anderson,
No, he won't get votes on the weekend.
yeah, but I
No,
thought
he was
that.
unsighted for the game.
Yeah, but he had such a big final term.
Yeah. No,
Won't they
game was
walk off
done.
and go,
Game was done, though.
geez, Noah was everywhere in that last bit.
I did watch that really closely.
We're assuming that the umpires sit there and go, all right, who was good in the first quarter, in the second quarter, and the third? Don't they just go
He was
top of
good.
mind? So Dacos is favourite, 350. Dawson, 375. This is all on TABtouch, of course. Bailey Smith, $4. Caleb Sarong out at 15s with Noah Anderson. And
I'd say he might get votes on the weekend from that game, and I don't know if we'll talk about him when we get to Melbourne, but Jake Melksham had 11 scoring shots.
no, don't take my only Melbourne thing. Okay.
All right, just quickly before we get into the Dockers, as a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, Woodside has accepted the challenge of supporting local footy at all levels, from grassroots to greatness, so it can thrive throughout WA. Woodside, Australia's leading energy company. Sean Darcy's last quarter.
Fantastic.
3 clearances, 5 score involvements, and a goal.
Yep.
And look, he's like clunking them. He's just looking like.
Well, Luke
Sean
Jackson looked
Darcy
at him when
of
he
old.
was in. Well, he was getting smacked for the first 3 quarters.
Well, yeah,
but,
that's what I said last quarter.
I'm glad Luke Jackson passed it to him going inside 50.
Yeah.
Because Jackson looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
And he had another, and he had a player out
and the
other
kick was
side.
a bit of a shit one.
And then he looked like
And
a
Darcy
tree
had to
falling
dive
over.
for it.
Yeah.
Took a divot the
And,
size of
it could have been like that would have been. Would they 14 points down then? Would have nearly
yeah,
been
sure,
that
sure,
stage.
I
sure.
reckon it was, yeah.
That was a bee's dick from Darcy, stubbing his knee into the turf,
Yeah.
dropping the chest mark,
Spilling
ball,
out.
and that was the big chance. But
Turnover,
instead,
Saints win.
backed himself in and went back, hit the goal. Those two boys, Jackson, and I wonder whether we said in the commentary that because Marshall was outstanding
Yes,
for 3 quarters, maybe that Sean Darcy was starting in the ruck and Jackson had been starting predominantly in the ruck. Maybe Darcy was getting 5 or 6 minutes to really blow
Try to
as
wear
hard
him
as he
down.
can, and then Jackson would ruck, Fife would come on. But that was before anyone knew that Fife had pinged his calf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that forced Jackson, Darcy
But
to
that's-
really take over. He was brilliant.
And these are the ones where Marshall was spanking Jackson more than he was
Yeah.
spanking Darcy.
Well, but Marshall's having a good day.
Marshall was having a great
Yeah.
day, yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Jackson can't go with those giant ones.
Darcy was good. I thought.
This does multiple things.
Yeah, does it make
It makes it interesting for selection for Fremantle.
they've got to
'cause,
get rid of a key forward. If they play Jackson forward, they've got to drop
Yeah.
it forward. They have to.
yes, for the future, does this make opposition clubs who maybe had Darcy on the whiteboard but hadn't circled him, do they watch that quarter and go, oh, he's still in there?
No.
That good player is still in there. Because it's been a while since we've seen.
Mate, they'll negative 24 clearances at 3/4 time.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
an abomination, that midfield.
Yeah, which was weird though, because the hitouts were well
Yeah.
in favour of Fremantle
Yeah.
as well. I would think that increases his value
Do they?
slightly.
My question is, does it make them second guess?
Well,
Them
then-
trying to
so
move
It probably
him?
does all of those things.
Yeah.
Quickly this weekend though, so say Jackson went forward and he actually cleanly clunked a few. That was the one
Yeah,
thing
what
we
was the
noticed.
clean
A lot
hands?
of double
Yeah.
grabs usually cleanly.
Yeah.
So say he plays forward more, you cannot have Voss,
Amos.
Jai,
Giles probably needs a spell.
Tracy,
I was watching
Jackson.
Amos. We'll do this next week. Anyway.
We had donuts at half time.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
But then a couple of nice touches
So did all
late
their
again.
forwards though.
But again,
Tracy had 2 goals from 2 kicks, I think.
Yeah, but he's still
No, I just did this one.
let's go to Ollie Henry, Geelong, sorry. A hard one off the bye, but I dug around Ollie Henry because I still couldn't believe he kicked 41
Has
goals.
he kicked 41 again? Is he? What's he at?
So in his last couple of years prior to this year, he had 41 and 37.
37 last year.
Yeah. So
What's he got this year? 50.
I'll get to it. So in that 2-year span, he had 7 goalless games. So in the 2 seasons, he had 7 goalless games, which 2 were last year, 5 were the year before, but there was 3 games in there where he was either sub or subbed off. You know, they got a bit fruity in the 41 goal year. I think that's why we're like, how did he kick 41? He was sub and subbed off and whatnot. This year he's kicked 12 goals and had 5 goalless games.
Wow. In how many games has he played?
Well, mate, a lot.
Sorry.
A lot.
He's missed a couple, I know that.
Yeah, he's played a lot of games.
12?
I'll get it up. Yeah,
13?
something like that.
I'm surprised that he hasn't gone on with it.
No, so am I. After we thought 41, we thought automatic 50 goal a year
Sleeping
sort of player without
giant.
doing a
When
lot.
he was at Collingwood and we all thought, geez, he's found one here. Like, this kid looks crafty and...
Well, they gave up a first round draft pick for him.
Yeah.
And they were still spitting chips about
Well,
losing him.
it was a whole thing. That trade period, it was a real arm wrestle for that trade to get done. I'm shocked.
This year he's played 13.
13 games, 12 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the output is in there. What that does tell you, though, is that they have room to grow. Geelong.
Do they, though, with him? I don't know.
How old is he now? 24?
Have to be 23.
Yeah, about that.
He wouldn't be. He's not old.
Some of them shock you how young they still are.
So Ollie Henry was traded from Collingwood to Geelong at the end of 22 season to play alongside his brother. The trade involved a 3-way deal with Geelong, also sending Cooper Stevens to Hawthorn. Collingwood received pick 25 in exchange. So there you go. Cited homesickness, remember?
Yeah, that's right. It's an hour. That's taking the piss. That is taking the piss.
He's 22.
Yeah, no, still young.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah, not much happening this year for him.
Yeah, I think there's still something in there, I reckon.
Yeah.
Give him time. Let's go to, Carlton. I think I'm going to bullet them.
No, we all get a bullet each, aren't we, during buy round?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's bullet them. Only because everyone else has spent
Yeah, don't worry.
every
You're going to
day
hear
talking
about him.
them.
Just say again, the A pluses are A's, their B's are C's, their
I'm
C's
just saying
are
that we were
D's.
pretty right about that.
And I still got smashed on social, so I'm just waiting to get some apologies.
Just retweet. You can do that passive aggressive retweet
You've
of your
been
own stuff.
waiting a while.
GWS, again, coming off a bye week. So does it look like it's going to be one of GWS or
Gold Coast.
Fremantle or Gold Coast? Someone's going to miss out of those 3.
Yeah. Yeah, because
And even the
I
Dogs are
think it's Fremantle, Gold Coast, or Giants.
are going to miss
what
out.
we feel like the Bulldogs
Bully's got an easy
are
run.
the best of that group.
But Bully's got an easy
They don't
run
leave
too.
Melbourne much.
I
if at all.
think they're playing some darts too.
Yeah.
So they got to,
coming
and you
up.
kind of got to get 15. So they've got GWS on the run home. Have got the Eagles, Bombers, North Melbourne, St Kilda, which is suggest they'll get. That gets them to 14 wins. So tell me which one of these they're going to pinch. So Cats at NG.
Who's this? The Giants?
The Giants. Cats at NG.
Yeah, maybe.
Sydney at NG.
Who knows?
Dogs at Marvel.
Nah.
Don't know.
And then Suns on the coast.
Nah. So maybe the
So
first two.
They have to pinch at least one of those.
Well, I reckon they can pinch one of the first two.
Cats or the Sydney. Yeah, well, Sydney is always a.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Just to quickly clarify, the Dogs, their good run's starting to run out. So they went St Kilda, they pumped. Richmond, they pumped. Sydney, who are in no good form, and then they got North Melbourne this week.
Yeah. Then it turns.
Then they go into like Adelaide, Brisbane. There's an Essendon in there, but then there's Giants. And
How
they-
many good games is that?
They still do have.
Just
They
a memo
still,
to the AFL. Maybe put those on a Thursday and Friday night, right? Rather than Carlton and Essendon 900 times.
There's a few games coming up where those 4 teams play each other, which is great. Like
Yeah.
mini
Yeah,
finals
yeah,
in the
Yeah,
lead up.
8-point game.
Yes, a lot of 8-point games coming up. This is actually my favourite part of the season.
Yeah.
Where all the games start to matter a little bit. Like this round's shit because it's 9 top teams versus 9 bottom teams. But even then, you've got the whole don't drop it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
All 9 teams should
Still
win.
remember it took it.
Who's going to stuff it up?
One year there was like an 8-point game stretch for Freo, and Ross had sprayed the concept of an 8-point game. And then I asked Zach Dawson after a game, like, "Oh, it is a bloody 8-point game."
yeah. Hey, just quickly, looking at this round going forward, the closest game is a Sunday game, which will be great. Sydney v Freo.
Yes, which is
Sydney are favourites.
6 versus 10th or something.
It's 6 v 12th, but I think there's a little bit more in it than that.
How did where are they going to play that?
Then it's like Adelaide $1.25, Hawthorn $1.34, Brisbane $1.21, Geelong $1.03,
Shit.
Gold Coast $1.28, Giants $1.24, Collingwood $1.20,
Wow.
Bulldogs $1.12.
And what's the Freo one? Are they favourites?
Sydney are favourites $1.60.
Right. Okay. So Fremantle's the outsider.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
what are they
think that's
paying?
about right. $2.36.
who
We
knows
might talk
where
about that
it's
on
played.
Thursday, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey?
You can have a look.
Maybe. You, Dave?
Essendon Bullet, get rid of him. Get him out of my life.
Bullet.
Sorry, Kev.
That's a fair bullet, isn't it?
That's fair bullet.
Some of these are all bulletable
I'd
now.
really like to bullet the next one.
It's the time of year where we start to talk about the trade and draft.
Yeah,
a lot of these clubs.
But I'm
We're
happy
nearly
to.
there.
I'm happy to do it, but I can't
I've got
do
one coming
Essendon
up.
off a buy.
we all need medals after the bye rounds. I really would have liked to bullet Melbourne too, but I think we bulleted them the last couple of weeks. So, Jacob Melksham, 5 goals, 6.
And I reckon you probably sprayed a couple too, Melvin.
Absolutely.
I think.
Realistically, watching that game, he could have easily had 8.
Yeah.
Easily.
And he could have had 10.
Yeah, but easily.
Yeah.
It was quite remarkable.
It's funny, he does play games or
Yes.
quarters where you're like, shit, this bloke can play.
Every time I do a multi with Melbourne in it, I'm like, I feel like Melksham goal.
Do you? Yeah, I don't follow
I
him
didn't
very
put him
much,
in this
but-
one,
Nah.
and he kicked freaking 5.
The 5 goals 6 is incredible.
I could have got an even bigger multi.
Did you see who else played well for the D's? Who's probably going to be the All-Australian half forward or forward?
Cozzy.
Pick it.
25 and 3 goals.
not bad,
a fair
is he?
Still
day.
running that campaign.
It's a fair day. I don't think I need to run. He's running the campaign
So
himself.
even in a bad side, he still
gets in.
gets it.
They are real.
So
They are bad.
Looking at
Yeah.
Petrarca was pretty good again.
well, I was looking at what
Yeah.
they have to look forward to.
Not much.
So we know that they traded their pick last year. And
They need to get a pick in,
So they got,
Oh, yeah,
So
cuck.
currently their first pick is 23.
which would be 30.
Well, it might actually be 33. Is my math, quick math based
But
on.
don't
who's
some of
on.
those then come forward? The picks
Not
in there?
not in that stage.
I think
not
this
at
year
that
they will. And they have to pay more this year.
Maybe. Let's say 30 then.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of
In that
33.
range.
And it's not a deep draft. It is absolutely not a deep draft. So there is nothing coming in the door this year unless they make some moves.
That's the pick that they likely have a throw at a ruckman too. If they haven't drafted one last year or
Maybe.
two. Like pick 30, just get the best ruckman. Max is getting old. See what happens in
Yeah, you're
3 or
not
4 years.
you're not getting a high impact, quick impact player at that pick.
No.
So they have what they have in the cupboard, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
But we like Langford, we like Lindsay. We've seen
got enough,
something from
yeah,
Windsor,
yeah.
but
And Cozzy's what, 23?
yeah, they need a lot from Langford in the
Yeah,
future.
but I don't think he's that, is he?
What? Excuse,
Hold on.
hang on. Whoa, what's happening here?
Oh,
No,
Sorry.
like don't, no,
hold
no,
on,
no, no.
hold on. He was playing in the 15s.
Yeah.
He was playing in the Division 12
No,
reserves.
no,
Barton
no.
Doogie
And when
thirds.
you spotted him and said, this kid's got something, and then he went from
Yeah, you're
not
off
being
him.
drafted 1 week
No,
to
no,
a
no.
top 5 pick.
Because you hate the D's. He landed the D's, now you hate him.
Let me clarify.
You're off him.
It doesn't look as though he's going to have the Dusty Martin. Like he could be a very, 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 very good footballer.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's ever going to be the best midfielder in your
That's the
team.
panic. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not Dustin Martin.
No, he's not Dustin.
Okay.
Well, they need that powerful Dusty. They need a Danger. They need a Fife, and I don't think he's got that.
Okay.
He's going to be a don't mate. He could be my son. The only way I spotted him because I was at the community game watching my son play, and he's another one. Dickheads.
He's written him off.
Yeah, he's a no good.
Is this you? Yeah, I
oh,
just
did
did
you
Melbourne.
just do
I
that
just
one?
did Melbourne. I battled through it.
What have I got left?
You've still got a bullet.
Yeah, well, I'll just bullet him late.
Who?
No, well, I'll get to it and then you say the bullet. But if we're going to have a draft one,
No,
draft
bullet
and
them
trade.
now.
Well, no, North Melbourne. Okay, bullet North
We're
Melbourne.
not doing a bullet. You can't bullet and then talk about him.
No, I'm not
No,
bulleting.
he wasn't.
I
He
was
was to
going to a
another
different
team.
one.
He was
Oh.
going to a different team.
Then there was just too
Oh,
much
over
going
me.
on and I
He's
couldn't.
bulleting
I was
North.
overloaded
Okay.
with information and I
okay.
had to bullet.
All right.
I think Collingwood look a bit plain Jane at the moment. I know the West Coast pushed
Yeah.
them, but
It's an
they're
underwhelming performance.
getting it done. No, but they're getting it done at the moment each
What have
week.
they won in a row?
They've won heaps. But,
Yeah.
10 or something.
yeah, but they're
stupid.
doing the whole.
They don't play a game where you're like, wow.
Yeah,
was
Joe, like,
amazing.
so they beat West Coast by 29. They beat St Kilda by 30. They beat Melbourne by 1. They pumped Hawthorn. They dangled around with Adelaide by 10. Yeah, they beat Freo by 14. Like there's no foot on the throat gear. But just to quickly have a look at their injury list. So Hill pulled out. DeGoey's not playing. McCreary's not playing. Maynard's not playing. Schultz isn't playing. Frampton's got a roll down there who they like's not playing. But they're going with 8 of their best 22 not playing at the moment. Collingwood, but they all come back in. They're all premiership players. They're all premiership players. So that they'll all slot back in. They're in their 22. So when they're just winning these closies, maybe they just start drip feeding these players back in, and before you know it,
Plus, they have that beautiful advantage. So since round 9, MCG, Marvel.
Yeah, how'd you go to Marvel?
MCG, Marvel, MCG, Oh, People's First. They go there in round 18.
Oh.
MCG, 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 Adelaide Oval.
That'd be the
MCG.
school holiday one, isn't it?
My goodness.
They do get a good run. So I don't
They always
think...
go to Gold Coast during the school holidays.
Oh, and that's right, because the Gold Coast fill up. They fill the stadium.
Yeah, because everyone travels up.
Yes.
I just think the Collingwood at the moment, they're just going along.
Do we
But there's a lot of assets not involved at that footy club at the moment. And we sometimes look what they're on top of the ladder. They're 2.5 games clear on top of the ladder.
Yeah, they're clear.
Like miles, 1-2's locked away.
Do we sometimes struggle to analyse a team like that properly because of that fixture? Like, are they 2.5 games better, or is two of those games the fixture?
But it doesn't matter because then they got to win the premiership at that ground anyway. Like, they don't. You know what I mean? I don't know. It doesn't matter if they're a better team. They don't have to leave home.
God, we have a weird competition, don't we? It's such I can't even get into it. I'll be there for an hour.
You do get upset by it.
I just,
mate,
it
it's
drives
quite
me
annoying.
insane that they don't do more to even it up. It drives me insane.
Wait, so was that your point or your point?
He did Collingwood. Oh, shit.
That's
Another
you.
team. Richmond.
What happens when we start in the
Jeez,
middle
you
of the
gave
table?
You gave me some shit
They're
teams.
all shit teams at the
Carlton,
moment.
Melbourne, Richmond. Come on.
well,
Brisbane
yeah, that
didn't
one.
even
Well,
play.
you were going to do Richmond. There's a topic there.
Sam Banks.
No.
I know. I just quickly, Sam Banks,
Yeah.
who I called out earlier in the year. I do like Sam Banks, 24.2 touches since Jaden Short had his 1 week calf injury, which has now been 8 weeks.
Yeah. But Shaw came back for a little look, didn't he? And then
No, I don't think he
disappeared
did.
again.
He got named and then came back out again.
Yeah, I
run
thought he
out.
ran out.
Tom Lynch. What the hell was going
yeah.
on? It was, funnily enough, Alistair Lynch-esque.
Yeah, yeah.
Just swinging.
I'm just going to
left,
punch this
right,
man
centre.
in the head.
And it's
Did he own it? Did he speak after the game?
He did own it.
I
And he
saw a quote on it.
apologised. He
I
just
didn't
had,
like Uze. He was just like, oh, yeah, but he was being scragged. It's like, and then you show the vision. It's like, there's nothing there that's out of the ordinary.
It did happen on the same week where Jack Revolt was saying that Harvey
he should be
go
going
and
to
give Tom Lynch a big deal.
And
to
then
go
I
up
think
there.
Kane or David King this morning said that's the last we've seen of him.
Yeah.
Jack Revolt.
Yeah, I know. Of,
Jack Real, he's off,
yeah,
he's
Tom
off
Lynch.
the couch.
That was a tough one. He said Ben King doesn't stand up in finals, even though he hasn't played in it.
But I know what he
Yeah.
was saying. That lead up
Yeah,
forward.
but Tom Lynch, come on.
Yeah, no, I didn't agree with that part
Yeah,
of it.
no. That is trying to get my mate another deal.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't
Does
agree
that
with
fall?
that. How many weeks is it?
How do they grade it? Because it's not. It doesn't fall into anything.
Yeah.
That
Do
they've
you think
developed.
that swing is worse than what
Yes.
Gaff did on Brayshaw?
It's a
Yes, 'Cause he was trying to punch him in the head.
yeah.
Gaff did punch him in the head, but he probably wasn't his intention.
Yeah. So I'm straight to the tribunal.
Why you bring that up? Everyone's going to get mad again.
No, just that swinging action.
Yeah,
like
he was
it's
like he turned around and said, "I'm going to punch you in the
yeah,
head."
but it's not like Lynch. Lynch still just swung. It's not like he
Yeah.
faced up and went and have that.
Yeah.
Straight to the tribunal.
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, but what are you thinking? Put a number on it.
It'd be 4
6.
plus, wouldn't it?
6. I'm thinking 5.
Yeah. Yep.
And will he see Tom Lynch next year?
Has he got a deal?
I think he's got one more year, doesn't he?
Yeah, okay.
But you might,
Off the top of my head.
You can't you can't have a senior guy out there punching people in the head.
Yeah.
But it wasn't his first dance.
be
either.
honest,
Like,
true,
he was angry. He's always been competitive, angry, and they went too far.
But you also understand now he's competitive, old man, angry, where everyone else is
Well,
getting better than
and
him.
he's such a massive unit too.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
so long and strong.
But then off the field,
He's a
he
good
seems
fella.
like the
No,
nicest
it's-
man in the world.
ends this year.
Is it?
Yeah, okay.
7-year deal that ends at 2025.
7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, like
Tom Lynch.
he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Tom Lynch.
He
Yeah.
looks like a stand-up citizen,
Bit of
except when he
white line
goes on
fever.
the field.
White
and
line
tries to punch
fever,
people in the
which
head.
just quickly while we're talking white line fever because we're digging down. Who can you remember had the most white line fever as a player?
Bo Waters.
Bo Waters was a bit like white
Yeah,
line.
Bo Waters quite close.
Damien Harbert used to go white line.
The Carr, both the Carr brothers. Probably
Yeah,
Matthew Carr, because
yeah,
Matthew
Matthew
Carr's not like
It's an
fair.
accountant. Isn't he?
Josh has got a little bit of that in him already, but
yeah.
I reckon Matthew Carr was right up there in that.
Hodgie was white line. Across the line, he'd want to kill someone.
Yep. I could see
In
that.
toughness.
Yeah. Yep. Mark Rashudo.
Yeah.
Although Rashudo's kind of always like that.
Yeah,
he's
he's
kind of
always-
tight.
There's also a couple of players that probably play at 22 on the team.
Glenn Archer.
Yeah, but we're talking stars there. Like, there's also the ones that are play at 22 that the coach just loves how much they compete. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
geez,
Like
Susie
Ben
Cross-
Long.
Yeah,
Ben Long's got a bit of that.
bit more skilled though.
Yeah.
I just remember the bloke who knocked my teeth out, then
Knocked
went
your
and
teeth.
cracked.
Oh, we haven't heard this before.
No, he then went and cracked someone else, and he went off with like a blood nose. But they were both just complete accidents, and the guy was so rattled that he just caused these 2 major injuries.
He's now
he had to
on.
go off himself.
Is this you?
This is me.
Finish this
I'm
up.
talking about St Kilda. So the draft at the moment goes like this, or will go like this. We're anticipating
Go.
West Coast with the Oscar Allen pick.
Yeah, that's what we think.
Then Richmond, because they've got North Melbourne's too.
Yeah.
And then St Kilda.
Yeah.
They need another first-round pick, St.
Because
Kilda.
that pick will be like pick 8.
Well, there's only, at the moment, it's sort of peeling back a little. There's probably only 3 academy guys in that first 10
Brisbane
now.
kid.
Euland at Gold Coast, Patterson from Gold Coast, and Annabelle from Brisbane.
Yeah.
So there's
I'm
probably
glad
only
we're
3
looking after
early.
those northern states.
I know, it's hard. So what gets them, assuming they can somehow keep Naz, Wanganeen Miller, what gets them another first round?
Watching
Oh, you
yesterday,
have to.
they have to keep him.
Oh
Yeah,
my
but
God, he's so good.
The issue will be, so if they get to Coning, anything that they lost in free agency, they won't get the
But no,
compensation.
Wanganeen Miller, he's not a free agent, is he?
No.
No.
But
No, but I
like
think
Marshall-
they need to trade an asset.
If Marshall leaves.
well, if they get to Coning, you trade Marshall.
That's true.
yeah.
The other one I want to float is, what's the value at the moment of Max King?
None.
Do you think anybody would
there'd
put,
be value.
that's what I think. There's still like
It'd be
clear skies that people would remember that he was meant to be better than Ben and he's injury prone.
Just cash out on the asset.
I think you just cash out. Like you can't get him on
But
the
then what are you going
park.
to do?
Well, you go and get another top 10 pick. You keep going on your rebuild.
No, I think he's still young enough that you've got a pillar in place.
No, he stays.
So if you can keep Wanganeen Miller,
How about this? You love
you
him.
can get to Coning and then you get King healthy.
Yeah, but what if you don't get King healthy? How about this? They lose King, they get Baby Curtin. Would you do that? As it stands now.
Yeah, but then what are you selling to Wanganeen Miller? Like, hey, we got an 18-year-old full forward.
And
Well, you're
DeConing.
saying we need a full forward to build around you. We don't have faith.
Nah, I
in Max
wouldn't
King's
get
body.
rid of King. And I'm not a big King believer.
Nah,
Look, they kick goals, but I think it's very lead up from the goal square, kick them.
Hey, what about
but I wouldn't be getting rid of King.
what about the Flying Viking?
Oh, how good!
14
Well,
spoils.
Max Hall as well.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good. He's got a
They're
little
getting
bit
pieces.
of crazy eyes,
He
Max. Hall.
actually
Yeah.
could have the bit of white line in
Yeah,
him.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no,
Tarub
Jones
was
provided.
making a statement from the
Oh.
start. 6 spoils early.
Just
good,
flies
boys.
at everything.
Yeah.
And you see that vision, yeah. Taru, that's the one. No, Travalia, when he tackled someone over the line and just got Ross was so excited.
Yeah.
He's a big smiles and
Yeah.
claps in the box.
Both those boys look good.
They do.
That's what Lee Montagna on first crack saw that vision. He's like, I've never seen that. I've never seen Ross smile and clap in game.
Yeah.
He's getting soft.
Yeah. Is that
I've
us?
got one to go. I've got Port Adelaide.
Oh shit.
I know, it's a tough slog. Miles Bergman, though. Let's just go Miles Bergman. 23-year-old. He played again, Cripps, but it didn't tag him. Head-to-head, it was like, Bergman, you're better than Patrick Cripps, which at the moment he is. Paddy Cripps is battling
Yeah.
big time. He absolutely put him to the sword. I know Cripps had the cold, but Cripps has had his worst season since being drafted, I
Yeah,
think it was.
probably.
Bergman, they have to. I read an article saying, the number one thing that they need to do this year is a lot of focus around Zach Butters and trying to get that done and who can they bring in. And their number one priority needs to be keep Bergman.
Yeah.
He kicks it beautifully. He marks it beautifully. He's good looking.
Yep.
He wears those fluoro orange yellow boots so I can tell who he is.
Yeah.
He ticks every box. And
He does.
without
Do you know-
knowing him,
You know what it reminds me of? What, when Sydney lost Jordan Dawson?
a little bit of Jordan Dawson.
Yeah.
And you were like,
Yeah.
this kid's good
Yeah.
here, but he could be great somewhere.
But he could be great at Port Adelaide if he's played in the midfield. So don't worry about putting him back when Petrarca and them go back. Just keep him in the midfield because he's really good in the midfield.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a Sydney side now with Jordan Dawson in it? Goulden outside, Dawson.
Yeah. No, don't.
Who's
yeah.
he kicking it to?
Beautiful.
Is the problem.
Well, there's a conspiracy about Sydney.
Oh,
coming
okay.
out.
Oh,
No.
jeez, okay.
Yeah, but they need to keep him, whatever price it is. He's there. He's better than the Hornet this year at the moment. Hornets.
If they lose, there's a world where they lose Houston, Bergman, Butters in three
Well,
successive
Dan
years.
Houston, and we're not talking about it, but remember we used to talk about when St Kilda got Brad Hill in and they never used to give the football to him?
That's right.
Like, the runner who can keeps going past, nerd.
Yeah.
Here, Brad Hill. Smell the
Jack
candy.
Steele,
Not for
go
you.
inside.
Oh, yeah, Jack Steele, roll on to your left. Have another go. Dan Houston. Just give him the football.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Oh, and they give it to him when he's under the pump and he does these chippy little things. How about just when he's jogging past without any pressure? Get Dan Houston involved. Try and get him 23 disposals, get him going.
Can I ask, how many weeks have you bet on Dan Houston to go 20 plus?
No, not many.
None?
No. I've
a
never been a
personal
big
gripe.
Houston
Not a
man.
Dan Houston guy?
But if you've spent up to get a bloke, and I hear that the kicking and stuff he does at training
Use him.
is unbelievable, maybe when Lipinski and Hoskin Elliott and those guys whirl around in the just off. Just let Houston get that one.
Just give this one to Dan.
Leave it alone.
All right,
All
wraps
right,
up.
that's been us for the 2-minute warning. We are brought to you by TABtouch. Got the touch? Download the TABtouch app today. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. See you again tomorrow for the mailbag. Catch you then.